All right, wonderful people of Swan, music fans, lifestyle brand fans. We're back. It's me, Dave Lozipone from Swan, here with the CEO himself, Jarrett Gilreath, Gbaby.
We're here, we're live, we're in
G-
motion.
Fresh off a new album drop. We're here for a podcast today. We just want to, talk about the album a little bit, give you guys a little insight to Jarrett's creative process and making that, kind of how that went, and then talk a little bit about us, talk a little bit about our brand, and what makes us special and what we're doing. Um, so Jarrett, new album, Coast, dropped May 1st. Really, really, it's done amazing so far, and all of us here are so proud, of how well it's been doing. So, just want to kind of get your thoughts, like how nervous were you, how excited for you, like how are you feeling? It's been about a month, 2 months now since Coast dropped. Like, what are kind of the emotions that you felt then, and what are you feeling?
Been feeling a lot, bro. Um, First off, it just felt amazing to finish it. Like, it took a while. We started it, like, in late October, so we worked on it all fall and all winter. So to be finished it was like breaking through a big mental block. Obviously, releasing your first thing is, like, a lot of pressure. Not from anybody else, because nobody even knows what's going on, but, like, you put a lot on yourself internally, so there was definitely a lot of pressure. So to have it out, it's been very relieving. Everybody's been supporting it, which has been awesome. Honestly, it's received more support than I even thought we would get. So it's been nothing but good feelings, good vibes. Shout out to William, to Wes, because that man stuck with me the whole time. He would come to my house 2, 3, and 4 in the morning. Like, he would stay. We would go some nights until the sun would come up, and he would stay the whole night. He helped me write almost every song on it. He co-wrote it with me, featured on 4 of them. So yeah, it's been a good feeling so far. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about, this started all the way back in October. Like, this has been such a long time coming. Like, all of us here at Swan know, like, Jarrett's been working on this really hard for such a long time. So it's been, really cool to see, the album drop and the different reactions to it. I know, like, there was such a long lead up to the album, but kind of like what inspired the album, what you speak about on the album, the sound for the album, like leading up to that drop when you were in the studio, like what kind of, you know, creative thoughts did you have leading up to that?
Yeah, it was mainly just trying to express the things that were, like, on my mind, and the things that have been on my mind this whole time. They say, like, you have your whole life to write your first album, and I kind of felt like that. Sonically, it was inspired by all the things, like, I listened to as a kid. I loved everything that my mom listened to: Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Kool and the Gang, Earth, Wind and Fire. Lots of music from the '70s, soul music. From, like, a songwriting standpoint, uh, all of those artists, they always wrote about, like, their view and their perspective on the world. Especially guys like Stevie. Sonically, I like New Edition. Love New Edition. I love boy bands. So that's why there's a lot of, like, stacked vocals, a lot of harmonies. It came from just, like, my love for that. But Coast specifically, like, what it's about has been mainly me and William. Like, we went on this journey. We started the album in October, but we've been making music together for almost, like, 3 years now. And in that process, we've had so many conversations about just finding ourselves as people, as artists, um, dealing with things like time and growing older, and people coming and going in your life, and just kind of, like, understanding it and understanding, like, there's nothing you can really do to control it. So yeah, that was a lot of what we were feeling at the time. At that time, I'd quit my job, and it was a lot of sense of, like, un- unsure of what we were gonna do. Obviously we knew we were gonna do this, but we didn't know in what way or how we were gonna do it. So the album is mainly the two of us just trying to figure it out, just trying to figure out life, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that, like, kind of seeing that coming, like, you and Will talking about like all the things that, having personal conversations with you guys, like a lot of that is reflected in your music, and that was really cool to see. I know you kind of touched on some of the inspirations for your music, whether it be Michael or Stevie or some of these other artists and some of these other groups. I I feel like Coast 2 or Coast rather has kind of like a unique sound to it where, it doesn't, you can't really put it into one genre or another. It doesn't mark as specifically hip hop or house or, one genre. And, I can kind of see those different sounds coming from those different artists, but, also from different genres. Like, how would you describe Coast in, one word or one sentence, even though it can't really be put into one genre?
Oh, yeah. I just like to say it's feel good music. You know, I don't I don't like to limit myself creatively. I don't want to be put into a box of like this is the one thing you have to make. Myself and William, we're both fans of so many different things. I mean, you kick it with us all the time. We listen to everything. Some days it's straight up house music, like we're just playing Disclosure, K Tronada, um, Calvin Harris. You know, a lot of even like underground UK house that like a lot of people don't know about. But then there's days where we're just playing soul music. You know, there's days where we're playing a lot of like West Coast hip hop, a lot of East Coast hip hop. I like anything that makes me feel good. You know, it doesn't matter who made it or where it comes from. Like, to me, music is more about what it does to you more than how it came to be or who brought it into the world, you know?
Yeah.
So, for what we were trying to do, at least, I wanted to make something that it didn't matter what you liked, it didn't matter what you were into. Like, you could find something on this album that speaks to you or something that you could relate to.
Yeah. So when I ran through the album personally, my favorite track was "That's Life." I
That's
don't know.
William's favorite, too.
I just love like the sound and kind of like the energy that gives off. I know it's hard. I'm sure for you to pick a favorite, but was there like a favorite moment on the album or a favorite track to make? Was there one that you had the most fun with? Can you give us any insight to that?
Um, it is hard. I like all of them. I think my favorite is probably Dream State. But my favorite is Dream State mainly because of William. Like when we first started making music, he had already been making music a little bit before me, and he can obviously rap. He's very talented. He's a really talented writer. And we were making a lot of music like that. We were making a lot of hip hop, and then one day I kind of just we were for a little bit we were kind of making our own music, and I started kind of making the sound of Coast. And midway through making it, I brought him in and I was like, "Hey, like, can you do this like pop music with me?" And he was such a good sport about it, like songs like Special and like Good Time. Like, I like those ones because they force him to have to come out of his box, and now he's like rapping on these pop tracks, which I don't think he would have done on his own. So Dream State is the most special to me because that one is like back to our roots. Like, that was the one that was most sounding like the things we used to make 3 years ago. So that one is special for the both of us. It was my favorite moment because I got to see him get his moment, which was really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I also like That's Life too, though.
Yeah, "That's Life" is great. It's great.
That one, we wrote that together, dude. Me and him. He came in one day, and I already had the beat like kind of half done, and I had the first line. I came in, and I was like, "Yo, I got this line. Dreams will melt away like a Sunday on a sunny day." And he was like, "Yo, let's finish it."
That's
and
right.
we wrote the whole thing right
Yeah.
there. It took us like an hour,
Yeah.
and we wrote the whole thing together. But that's how we did most of them. Most of them was like I started it, and then I'd be like, "Yo, can you help me finish this?" And we just got so much chemistry at this point that everything that I was thinking that I didn't know how to say, he knew how to express it for me. So
Yeah.
it was really cool.
It's funny, like Jarrett talks about Dream State and kind of how it brings him back to like the music that him and Will made years ago. And I can think back to like 2020, maybe it's like May or June, you just start to, be seeing your friends again. And I think one of the first things that I did hanging out with friends was go to a studio, go to Jarrett's house and like kind of watch him and Will record. And like it's so funny, like I do hear some of those things in Dream State, but that was just like a really cool experience. I remember that day like vividly. Like it was a really great time.
Yeah, when you guys came by, right?
Yeah.
And we were working on stuff.
Yeah.
At the time then, there was no focus, there was no vision. We were just having fun. Like, we were just making our favorite types of songs. We would just come in. Most of it started with like we would go for a drive because we love to drive to the beach, and he'll play me some songs that he's been listening to, and I'd be like, "Yo, did you hear this song that I like?" And then we would just go back and like just make what inspired us.
Yeah.
You know?
So I feel like now, in a lot of people's lives, a lot of like my friends' lives or mine, like people are kind of coming to like a big point where maybe they're looking for like a new job and they finally get it and they start working it, or they're leading up to their college graduation, their high school graduation, and like it finally happens, and like a lot of them don't know how to react. And I'm kind of wondering for you as an artist, like when you drop that album, this is obviously something you've been, working towards for a long time, something, a date you've had on the calendar for a long time, and then finally May 1st it drops. After that, how did you enjoy it? Did you feel like it was like a weird time because finally something had happened that, we had been leading up to for a while? Like, can you kind of describe, the lead up to it, and then after, like, how you enjoyed it and like kind of what you thought?
Leading up to it was very scary. We were very nervous. I remember we uploaded the music, and there was like a 3 week stretch where me and Will were just kind of like acting weird. We didn't know what to do with ourselves. Because leading up to it, every day we had just been making songs, and there were no more songs to make. So now we were just kind of like sitting with the anticipation. And you want people to like it. Like, you obviously make it for people to like it. So leading up to it was very nerve wracking. But the night it came out, shout out to our boy Ian. It was his birthday, and he allowed us to turn his birthday party almost into like a listening party, and we got to play it for all of our friends. And ever since that day, like, it's been awesome. It's been very relieving. If anything, it kind of lit a fire under us. Like, after that day, seeing that was the first time we got to see what the music can do to people in real time, and seeing everybody dancing to it, and people were asking like, "Yo, this is you guys? Like, we can't believe you guys made this." And it just motivated me to be like, "Oh, we have to go make more music. Like, we have to go make a follow up." And like you said, like, everybody our age was graduating college, was like finishing up school, so the timing was very appropriate. Especially, what also inspired us was talking to our friends. Like, you get a lot of inspiration from talking to people, and all of our friends have been going through the same thing. We're all trying to figure out what the next phase of our life is going to be, where are we going next. So knowing that everybody was about to enter that phase, and that's the same time that the music was coming out, I felt like it was very appropriate
Yeah,
for the time.
definitely, definitely. And you talk about kind of playing that music for different people. Obviously, the night it came out, you guys having almost like that personal listening party. Um, One question I would ask is like, what kind of part of the world are you looking forward to spreading your music more to? Because I know we have a lot of listeners, to Swan's music overseas, whether it be in Europe, whether it be in Australia. What kind of part of the world are you looking to explore and push the music further in?
The whole world, anyone that wants to hear it, it's, we're not closed off to anybody. We want to be a place that's open, where everybody can take something and be like, yeah, I'm a part of this thing, like, I belong to it too. Specifically, I'm planning to go to London in the fall, so I would love to push it out there. I'm just obsessed with the culture there. Like, I love the music there. My favorite type of genre, if I had one, is house music, which, even though it originated in Chicago, it obviously went to the UK and took on a life of its own. So I definitely want to begin to plant some roots down there, for sure. But I want to go everywhere that the music can take us. Wherever that'll be, wherever there are people that are willing to listen to us, we're gonna find a way to get there for them.
Definitely. Definitely. And one thing I think at Swan that's really important for us that, we've kind of redefined our brand around is our why. Kind of why we do everything, how we do everything, and the purpose behind it. How does that kind of apply to Coast? Like, what was the why behind this album, and what was like the purpose and how you rolled it out? How does it align with, not only the values we have like for this brand and for this company, but just for the album specifically, like why did you make it? Why did you want to make it? And how did that happen? Like in all the processes that, that did happen.
Yeah, it fits in with our why. The music fits in perfectly with our why. Coast was made to hopefully be some type of healing for someone. You know, um, I want to make music that inspires people, in whatever way. It doesn't always have to be like inspiring them to go after something. Sometimes it's nice to just know that other people are experiencing the same type of experiences that you're experiencing. So the main why of Coast, why it exists, is to help heal, and that fits in with Swan because now we have a new purpose, we have a new vision, and I want it to be a place where people could find healing. That's kind of the root of all of this. For the longest, we were trying to figure out what this thing is, but now that we know that we want to be a community for artists, we want to be a place where artists can come and have a place and a platform where they can express themselves freely. You know, a lot of artists, and part of just being an artist is like it's a very lonely road. It's a road of like isolation. You spend a lot of time like in the studio just by yourself, trying to find yourself, trying to find a way to express what's going on. And I don't think that's a thing you have to do alone. You know, there are other artists that are also struggling, and not even just artists. There are also people out there that are just looking for a place that they can call home, a place to be proud of. And that's our why now. Our purpose is to grow a community that'll extend beyond ourselves,
Yeah.
a place that people will feel comfortable at, where they feel free. I want to look to get other artists on board. It starts with me and William. We helped found the thing, but it's got to be bigger than us. We want it to be a place where no matter what your type of art is, whether you make music or you want to design clothes or you want to make art, you want to paint, you want to make videos, like this is a place where you can come here and do it freely, and we want to support your vision. We want to help you see your vision through, but we don't want to own your vision. you know Unfortunately, all the careers in art right now require you to make art for someone else. That's how you make a living. If you're an artist, you have to work for a company and make the art that they tell you to make. Here you can make what's free for you. Here you can express yourself, and all we want to be is an outlet for you. We want to make it happen so that you can be yourself authentically.
Yeah. One thing I think really important that you were touching on there is kind of like you can make art in so many different kind of ways. Like, when you look at Swan, we have so many different people that do so many different things. I mean, obviously you and Will make music, but we have great people like Stephanie who, she makes art. I mean, we have Gardy behind the camera. Like, I've
The
never
man.
seen somebody so good with tech before in my life. Like, you know, a couple of days ago we had a meeting, with some of the members of Swan, kind of talking about everybody's different role and how they play into that brand. I don't know if you want to speak on just, kind of talking about what everyone does and how we can all kind of create that different art in different sorts of ways, because it all matters at the end of the day, kind of building into not only our, why as a brand, but, we can't have one without the other. We can't have, this person without that person.
Yeah, it's in our vision statement. It's in our mission statement. Is We want to inspire people to be the best version of themselves, but to also be willing to contribute to something that's bigger than themselves. And I'm very grateful that I know tremendously talented people, and everybody's been so willing to just get on board and support. Um, like yourself, you've been holding it down with me this whole time. Gardy, Gardy's the man. He's been helping us out from the beginning, and he gets to pursue his passion. Stephanie, who's been designing for us, she designed the first Swan logo. Anaya designed the second logo that's on your shirt now, which we're gonna have available to sell very soon. She's a talented artist in herself. She has her own art that she does. We have William, who's making his own music. We have myself making music. We have Barrett, who can do anything. He can literally do anything he wants. That guy can dance. He can inspire people. He's such an articulate person. Um, we have people like Chris and Rory, who are gonna help us stay right. They're gonna take care of the business part for us. So yeah, like I think that's what I'm most proud of more than anything. That's what I'm most excited for, is seeing everybody else reach their true potential, seeing everybody become the best version of themselves, and understanding like this thing that we've built, it's bigger than us now, and it's going to be something that we could pass on. It's going to be a community that people are going to be excited to be a part of, because they know that they'll truly be in it and be a voice. If you're in this thing, you matter. You're not just going to be like an employee here. Like you're going to contribute, whether it's your genre or your style of creativity or not. Like all ideas are welcome. All everything's gonna matter. Everybody matters. So I'm most excited to see you guys grow and become what you can really become.
Yeah. We talked about that the other night, just about how much we want to see each other succeed. And, what that means for everyone in Swan is different just because we all do different things and we all have, different goals. But, kind of seeing everybody achieve that, each version of itself, whether it's, for you or William, it's, kind of building that brand for you, being the CEO, the president, but also like, doing super well with this music and, creating something that is going to last and that people are going to enjoy, or whether it's creating physical artwork or creating video or podcasts. Like, we all want to do something different at this brand, but because of that, like, we all want to do the same thing, and that's kind of create stuff that people are going to love and that people want to be a part of. I think one thing that Swan is, or one thing that's really important for Swan moving into the next couple of months, this rebrand of our company almost, is kind of like adding new people to that community, and kind of bringing in new people that have those similar views, that their views align with creating that art and that community that people want to be a part of. How do you think people not only will kind of want to join this brand, but how people from different places will kind of be a part of this?
I think there's two things. I think as far as joining us and being a part of it, I think it's undeniable. Well, at least everybody that's joined on board so far, we haven't even had to ask. I think when you have something that's great, and it's not great because the idea is great, but it's great because the culture is strong, people are going to join because they just want to be a part of something that's beautiful, you know? Rory. Rory called us and was like, "Hey, I just see what you have going on. I just want to be a part."
Totally.
So, I don't think too much about who's joining, because I think as long as we focus on having a strong culture, we're going to attract people with that also have a strong sense of culture and going to want to be a part of it. For fans and for people that just want to hop on the train and see what's going on, um, everybody's welcome. We're not exclusive to anybody. This is a community for people that just believe in helping other people. It's not limited to, you don't even have to be a fan of the music. If you don't like the music, you might like the podcast. If you don't like the podcast, you might just like the clothing. Like, there's going to be so much going on that regardless of what your interest is, regardless of what your taste is, there'll be something for you, you know? But bigger than the product, you're going to be attracted to our why, because we're committed to growing as a community. We're committed to building each other up and developing together. And I think right now in our world, there seems to be a lot of division, and we're going to be a pushback from that. We're going to be the opposite of division. We're going to be all about bringing people together and unifying folk. Doesn't matter the culture, the gender, the race, the religion. Like, this is a place where anybody could feel comfortable, and I think more than anything, that's what's going to bring people in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jarrett, I think, did a really good job of almost just explaining like everything that we have as like a mission for our company, and everything that we believe in. He won't tell you this, but a couple of days ago he put together such a great meeting of the minds, I'll call it, where he kind of explained what we want this company to become, and kind of our ideas, our whys, our everything. And maybe some insight that I would have, but I think that people would love to have is, as like a leader, a CEO that you've emerged as from this company, kind of like, how do you show that to other people? Because being one of those people, like, it was inspiring almost to hear you kind of say, hey, listen, like, we really need to focus on why we're doing this, and kind of what we're doing and how it aligns with that. Like, how as a leader have you kind of spoken to all of us, and kind of said, listen, like, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it?
I think leadership is just taking action and leading by example, and that's it. And communicating. You can have all the ideas in the world, but you have to be able to physically do them, and you have to be able to express them so that other people are willing to get on board. And you know, I've been able to express at least what I want, but I'm really fortunate that I have you guys, because without you guys, I would just be a crazy man saying a lot of stuff. So it doesn't really, I don't really do anything. I just kind of dream and share my dreams. And I'm fortunate that I know some very competent people. Like I tell my friends, to my other friends, like, yo, I know cooler people. Like I have the coolest friends. And I'm lucky and I'm fortunate that whatever ideas we come up with, everybody's willing to just do their part on the team, you know. Everybody so far is wearing 5, 6 different hats, you know. Steph has learned how to draw, Steph has learned how to sew, she's learned how to cut clothing, print clothing, like anything that we have to do. I mean, shoot, you went from a fan of music and now you're basically like my manager, like you're running the show for me. Like everybody's doing something new. Gardy's been the man for us this whole time.
Of course.
Like, this only works because you guys are so willing to sacrifice, and
Definitely.
I think that's part of our culture is sacrifice. Recognize that what's going on is bigger than you. It's bigger than me, you know. And if everybody has that selfless attitude, I think I really think the sky's the limit for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming that, I'm really excited to see. I know Jarrett's really excited to see, and we're sure you guys are going to enjoy, kind of without, giving too much away or, speaking on dates that aren't, officially released yet. What are you excited for in the coming weeks and months, for Swan to release and, kind of the content that we're going to put out that we know that people are going to enjoy?
I'm excited for Wes.
Excited for Wes.
His first music is coming out very soon. I'm not going to announce it because that's his thing.
That's right.
But I'm excited for Wes. He's been working hard. He put up with me and all of my stuff through Coast. It's time for him to get his. So I'm excited for his music. And there's going to be a follow-up for Coast, which I'm also excited about. I can't say what it's called yet because I came up with a different name that I have to tell you about later.
Okay.
But yeah, we have that rolling out. We got Wes rolling out. And that's just on the music end, man. We got these clothes we're trying to sell. 30 seconds, you said? Minutes. We have these clothes we're trying to sell. We have the music coming out. And even we're going to start putting stuff on our YouTube more. We're going to start putting out stuff on our podcast that we're going to have rolling up again soon. Now that we have a purpose again, now that we have a why. So I'm excited for everything that we have. Wes is number 1, followed by the follow-up to Coast. But to be honest, dude, there's about to be so much rolling out. I don't even know
Absolutely.
how we're going to hold it all.
I think a lot of people, have kind of been, really happy and love the content that we do put out. But, one thing I would say to the fans is, you guys are going to get a lot of different stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. It's not just going to be music. It's not just going to be podcasts. There's going to be so many different things for you guys to interact with, physical clothing and CDs as well as content, online that, definitely stay tuned and be ready because it's going to be a lot different than it was before. There's a lot of really, really exciting stuff coming.
We have purpose now.
We got purpose.
And our purpose is strong and our culture is even stronger, bro.
That's right.
So I'm excited.
Absolutely. So, people with Swan, I want to give Jarrett one more chance to kind of give some concluding remarks, but we had a really good time doing this, and we want you guys, of course, to let us know what you want to see. Do you want to see us sit down with different members of Swan? Do you guys want to see us sit down with other people outside the brand? What do you guys want to see? Because ultimately, we can make that happen. But just to finish, Jarrett, give us your concluding thoughts about Coast, about the brand, about what we have coming.
Closing thoughts.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to do this camera, Gardy. Tune in now. Get on the train because it's leaving the station. Don't get left behind. That's it.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's it. We're out.
Peace.